So today is the day where we finally dyno our C6 Corvette competition drift car build. We have been building this thing for about 6 months now. We have done our absolute best to ensure everything is as good as it can possibly be, and it's all going to come down to this moment. This is the first real test. We've putted it around the road in front of my house. We've let it run. It's time to really wring its neck and see what happens and see what kind of power this thing makes and see if all the concepts work in reality. So we got all our sensors working. We added some things like our other blower fan to keep the engine cool on the dyno, some wide angle race mirrors because we got to back this thing in the trailer since the front's too wide, and we did a full systems check to make sure everything was operational. We don't want to waste time fighting silly issues on the dyno or this thing running on 7 cylinders or anything like that. We want to make sure we are prepared as possible to utilize all of our dyno time. So we woke up bright and early at about 6 in the morning to hit the road and get a good jump start on the day. It's about a 2.5 hour ride up to my buddy Kevin's shop, KSR Performance, which is where we decided to take this thing to get dynoed. Kevin's a good friend of mine. He is an absolutely incredibly skilled fabricator, tuner, insanely knowledgeable about cars. He's one of the few people I would trust both technically, with his knowledge and his ability, and also, as a friendship, as a person, that he's going to be as careful with this thing as I would if I was running it on the dyno myself. So we get the trailer backed in, get the door open. It's time to unload this thing and see what she's got. All right, we're loaded up on the dyno. What do you think, Kevin? Kevin says my turbo is small. So when I sized this turbo, it was very difficult because a lot of Turbo LS sizing information is from drag racing, but it's a very different situation. They have torque converters, they have two-step to bring the car up on boost, they have a loose converter, they take off and keep it. Like what is your car, like once it launches, what's the RPM usually at on like Soccer Mom?
7,200.
Like from the start of the, exactly. So yeah. We're going from, 2,000 to 7,000, 2,000 to 7,000. So we need response. So when I talk to the drift guys about turbo sizing, they're mostly thinking of Jay-Z stuff and they were way undershooting it. The drag guys were way overshooting it. So I met somewhere in the middle with this. It's a 76, 79. It's a Garrett G42 1450. That's why we did the back pressure. Because that's going to really tell us when we're starting to choke the engine out is if the back pressure starts skyrocketing. But I'm hoping for like 800 on 8 to 10 pounds, and like I'm hoping we can crack 1,000 like without it being too strung out. But what do you think?
I think the turbo sizing, granted I haven't done a lot of drift turbo cars, but makes total sense that you basically need response almost like a naturally aspirated car.
Right.
So if this thing makes boost when you smash it at 2,000, good.
Right.
That should be great.
So my thing is, I didn't really care sizing-wise about it being big enough to make crazy power. Yeah. I just don't want to choke the engine out. You know what I mean? I didn't want it to be too small to where now the engine's breathing through a straw.
Yeah, and that's the balance to find because that's a bigger engine, it's probably going to restrict the RPM because of the turbo, like the hot side of the turbo, the exhaust side.
I did do a 128 AR exhaust side, so I did the biggest one they offered.
Cool.
I've got a full 4-inch downpipe, full 4-inch exhaust. I've got a 5-inch intake.
Yeah. All we can do is try it and find out.
Yeah, you're right. This is, 6 months of head down working our tails off, and trying to go over every fine detail and make sure we miss nothing. So it's kind of scary. So I'm hoping it works. I'm hoping that everything stays together. I think we did a good job, but
yeah,
we've got it set up like you like it. Everything's automatic.
Yep,
These come on automatically. Water pump comes on automatically. Fans come on automatically. Second fuel pump, we will need to verify that. I brought my laptop. I can plug into the race pack, or we can voltmeter it, but it should come on above 3,000 RPM. Cool. And then there's a third fuel pump that'll come on if fuel pressure drops and we're above a couple thousand RPM. I'm thinking we'll hopefully only need the two 450s, or 400s.
Should be plenty. Two 450s ought to give you a ton of range.
Right. So we have 3 available on the feed side.
Perfect.
And if it works like it's set up, they'll come on. The third one will come on automatically as a failsafe. So
cool. Good deal.
Figured you would like that. You would appreciate that. All the little tinkery settings.
Oh yeah, data nerd over here for sure.
Set to above 3,000. I had it before where above 3,000, above 25% throttle. But I'm like, let's simplify it. Let's do above 3,000. What did it go to?
Like just I think it spun the tires.
Yeah, I think so.
Basically racetrack loop. Cut with some alcohol so it blows out. Making a lot of boost.
How much?
Very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, the gate priority's good. So 632.
For less than 4,500. So see a difference in having the tires hooked up?
Oh yeah, so we weren't even to 4,500 RPM or?
No.
Jesus. How much boost is that?
I will tell you, 13 and a half.
Okay.
And it kind of has plateaued.
I mean, as long as there's fuel's good, it should take more than 13. What was the back pressure?
Yeah. Let me add it to the table here. Back pressure's only 11 at 13,
oh, wow.
At 13 pounds of boost. Like,
wow, so we're less than 1 to 1?
I mean, we're only at 4,200. So.
True. Yeah, you're right. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm curious. All right, well, I thought about doing this, but I didn't. Changing the springs before we came. I thought they were 10-pound springs in there, but it's default to 14, which is spicy. It would handle it. This motor should handle it, but we don't want to start that high. We want to be able to set low and go up. Anyway, we're going to put these green springs in. These should get us 7 pounds on the gate and see where we're at. All right, we confirmed 14-pound springs were in the gates. I should have checked that. I thought about it. Laziness got the better of me. I didn't think they'd be that spicy out of the box, but they were. I should have checked. 7 pounds in there now. So we'll see what it makes on 7. And we'll get to see if it's good wastegate control if it plateaus at 7. That was loud.
Stop stalling on diesel, but the
what?
little bitty clutches.
Yeah.
Kind of a pain. Hey, look at that, 719.
719 at 7 pounds. Well, what did it make pounds?
I think it was about 8 pounds.
8 pounds, 719. Let's go. That's what I was hoping for. Yes.
And that's,
dude, it was blowing stuff off your ceiling from the wastegates.
The wastegates, yeah. That'd be alright.
Dude, 719. So I'd probably try to run it at like 10 conservative and see what it makes on like 14.
I mean, 14, I imagine it'll
break 1,000.
Get close to 1,000. And I think looking at the timing table, like it's real conservative. So
yeah, because we got real good fuel.
Yeah.
Woo! let's go.
It had a little hiccup up at the top, which I want to look at that in the data log.
Okay.
And so it was peak where I lifted.
Oh, you only read to 6,100. Okay.
Yeah, sweet.
Do you see that? 719 on 7 pounds.
That's pretty sporty.
Yeah.
A little clutch makes it fun to try and catch it idle, but
yeah.
I'll get her worked out after.
I mean, if it sucks bad enough, I'll change it.
Well, it's fine, and then I stab the clutch in, and I think what it does is you come back off the throttle so the TPS is 0, and it's trying to force it to idle, but it's mechanically keeping it
right
on RPM. And then as soon as I push the clutch in, the IAC's already fully closed, which I need to maybe tweak it and jiggle it just a little bit more on the throttle blade setting, because it can't catch it fast enough. So.
That one went to almost 7. What do we got that time?
7:06. You see that dip? It did the dip again. And I can't find it either. No, same power basically.
Yeah.
But
so right now it's pulling timing. Randomly, it's pulling 7 degrees of timing. So we went through, tried to see if we can find what's pulling that timing. See if it clears up that spot at the end. We fixed the issue this time. So no dip is what we're looking for.
It wasn't in there. That fixed it.
That fixed it?
But I don't think I hit record it.
Oh, okay. But it wasn't in there. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, I didn't hit record.
Okay, I mean, whatever. Now let's turn the boost up.
Yeah.
All right, we're going for 20% on the duty cycle. That fixed it. It was the trans settings. So we're gonna see what 20% does. You gotta kind of start small because 20% could be 4 pounds, could be 1, could be 10, you know. We'll see what 20% does. I'd love to leave here with 4 digits just because I've never, I mean, we already shattered the record of my Miata made 495. So already doing pretty good for first rip 6.2 pounds. 750. Do you know how much boost that was?
Nice and clean. Let me get the log out of it and I will be able to tell you. Sweet. Yeah, that thing's making its full boost at freaking 3,600.
Alright.
That is...
Which one was that? That was red.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're at 606 foot-pounds at 3,600 RPM.
That's killer.
That should be nice and linear. What was that boost at?
Boost.
6.7?
6.7.
Jesus Christ.
Let's hit it with 50%. See what happens.
Oh yeah, go straight to 60, 70.
So that was half a pound higher?
You go to 70.
Alright.
He'll take it.
Yeah, I agree.
Only 6.7 pounds. That's pretty good.
This thing's rowdy.
Worst case, I'll put the 10-pound springs in it. I mean, I'll probably want 10 pounds worth of spring anyway for base power.
Base.
I don't know, 750 is also pretty good for base. I was thinking 800 for base.
Yeah.
Shit. That worked. That worked.
I take it down.
Yeah, no, that worked.
Holy moly.
What did it do? What did it do?
Well, just look at that increase in torque down low.
Yeah, 728
horsepower. So it looked like it was passing 15 pounds.
15?
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, stop.
Yeah, no.
Stop.
So what, now 40% maybe?
Sure, let's go somewhere in the middle.
That was spicy.
What's the numbers? Woo-hoo-hoo, 933.
933! What? How much boost was that?
Like 12.
12? Oh my god! Oh my god! Do you see that? 933, 800 foot-pounds of torque at 730 at the same. Oh no, that's 4,200.
Yeah.
Still, it's probably.
Yeah, 730 there. So.
What is it here? Like right at this crest.
Back here.
A little more back. So that's.
So it's 30.
So almost 700 at 3,600-ish.
Yeah, 684 at 3,700. 3,800.
Wow.
That's pretty sporty.
That's wild. Oh, I'm curious what the back pressure is too.
Let's get rid of stuff.
Oh,
It have punched 1,000 on 15 pounds.
dude. Oh my god. That's almost double what the Miata makes. That is almost double.
Perfect. Just right.
That's wow.
791 foot-pounds of torque.
Wow.
Actually, peak torque is at 6,100.
Damn. Damn.
Peak horsepower is right there past it.
Gotta take a picture of that. All right, we're shooting for the number. I normally thought I would never do this, but I want to see 1,000. I really do. I've never had a car make anywhere near that. So I want to have a 4-digit car. Silly. It's silly. When you're in this position, it's hard not to. Oh yeah? Yeah. Or did it spin the tires?
I don't know, but hold on before you see the number. It
Doesn't count?
it could have spun the tires.
I think it spun the tire.
I don't know. That was. Well, we weren't expecting 11.
What is it? What did it make?
I mean, 1,100.
No, okay. Well, it made 1,100.
So see, the thing that's weird. You see that loop-de-loop right there?
Right.
That's where it actually hooked up whatever it was doing.
Right.
So even after the tires hooked back up, it's still 1,054.
Jeez.
So
Let's see how much boost that was.
Log. I only saw 15 on the screen.
Okay.
What I did too is you see how it kind of hit soft still at 3,000?
Right.
Like I ramped it up instead of it just trying to smash it all with it at one time.
Right.
So it was either clutch or tire spin. And if you got a is it a triple disc? You said
Quad.
Huh?
Quad disc.
Quad disc.
Yeah.
Okay, what's it? That's got to be rated to like freaking 1,500 horsepower.
It's got to be something absurd.
Yeah, so it's either wheel spin or it's clutch spin.
Okay.
Like tire spin.
Right. I'm hoping it's wheel spin.
Because it hooked it back up even after it was making power. So I think it was probably slipping the tire.
Okay.
Because it's short sidewall tire. I mean, that's a boatload of power to put through a stiff sidewall tire like that. But I mean, I think legit you can say that was easily 1050. And the reason that it's got that spike is because it kind of like it got the tires heated up enough, and all of a sudden it like grabbed a hold of the dyno roller.
Right.
And then that's why it's got that little loop-de-loop spike.
I mean, if people say it's not real, I don't care. That's good enough for me.
Yeah. Well,
what was our boost? What was our boost? Let's get the final number.
15.1.
Jeez Louise, dude. What's the back pressure there?
Back pressure 25. So
we're still not even 2 to 1.
No.
Wow.
Not 2 to 1.
That's amazing.
Oh man, this thing's freaking killer.
Hell yeah. Oh, it feels so good. For the concept to come to reality, I spent so much time trying to decide on this turbo size, and I spent a lot of time building the kit. It's boost controlling efficiently. The wastegate priority worked out. No parts have fallen off. I can't even describe that, man. I can't. Besides one wire, we had an issue with the one wire for the back pressure sensor. That might just be the pin's not all the way in at the bulkhead.
Yeah, so what's that percentage-wise of things you got wrong? You got one wire wrong out of the entire carpet.
That's not bad.
That's not a bad percentage of getting something wrong.
No. I'm happy with that.
Good job, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That thing is
I put a lot of time, and I really tried to not rush it. I tried to think through every single little thing I was doing. Because for me, this is like my in-game car. Like this, I don't plan to build another car.
It's working, and I think you got it perfect on the turbo size.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That was definitely
that was 70% duty cycle on the thing. You got more left.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll definitely think I'm going to spring the gate up a little bit.
Even more spring with the gate?
Just because I want it to be 1 and 1, right? We'll see though. I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to drive the car at the 720, 750 range.
Yeah.
And just see.
And it may depend too on which.
Just these are big tires, so if I'm running them with any bit of grip on a high-speed track, like 750 might not be enough.
Gotcha.
So it's like I don't want to have to run it on kill mode to have enough. I'd like to have it like 800, let's say.
Gotcha.
Like 820 or so off the controller, and then 950, 1,000 on the controller. But I mean that's easy. We know the numbers.
I just switched it to boost by speed. I can't imagine that it would gather itself back up if it was clutch.
Right, I would think it would just
tires catching themselves.
Right.
Clutch, I don't think a clutch is gonna
catch
slip at that because it's only making more power.
Right.
As we go up, but
right.
I mean, when this thing finally grabs out here, it's 1,067. I mean, you can legit say it's 1,050, and you're not lying to anybody.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even care for bragging rights. Just for myself, I wanted to say I have 1,000 horsepower. And I never thought I would want to chase that number on the dyno, but it's like we were so close on such low boost.
Yeah.
Like 11 pounds at made 930. It's kind of hard not to.
Yep. So here's
back pressure is reasonable. All right.
Sweet. Let's get her off. Put you a winch in and then just winch in and out.
All right, car's loaded in the trailer. It didn't blow up. Nothing really happened. Of all things, one wire, that's not too bad. Huge shout out to Kevin for always sorting it out. Always. Yeah, doubled what the Miata made here last time because it made 480.
Well, you just made 1,100, so that's even more than that. So.
That's wild. Well, don't forget to check out Kevin's channel. Puts out a lot of content on there.
Appreciate that.
He's got an AC shop now too. He's living the life with me. All right, thanks again.
Yeah, man.
Don't forget to check out Kevin's channel. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Everyone was curious what you would think of it.
I think it's awesome, man. You did.
Thank you.
You did everything right. Like the wiring's nice, the header system's nice, like, and everything worked. One wire. But
One
like,
wire. One wire.
That's at what, 0.05%.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
a pretty
entire
small
build.
percentage.
That's pro level.
I'm hoping we find that wire is just not clipped all the way in the pin or something, but we'll see. We'll dig into it, but we're gonna test it soon, so. All right, well, we made it back home, got this thing back in the shop. So it was bugging me, that wire situation. I was like, we almost nailed it. We almost had a perfect score. So I did some digging. I pulled the bulkhead on this side, and the pin wasn't in all the way. So I was like, oh man, I guess I didn't seat it all the way. Well, no, I think actually the pin lock's broken because I seated it, got it in all the way, and as I try to pull the tool out, it would just pull the pin out. I pushed it in without the tool, same thing. So I think what happened was it was seated, it was in all the way, and then as I took that connector on and off a few times, it just pushed its way back out till it stopped making connection. So we've got it to where it's making connection now. We don't need back pressure so much on a regular basis. It's good to know because, you know, if there's something happens in the exhaust and causes a huge restriction, but it should be pretty much static. And we really needed to know it for this. So to recap, blown away, expectations fully exceeded. So 6 to 6.5 pounds, it made 720 to 750. And we had 11 PSI of back pressure on 11.5, peaking at like 12 pounds and dropping back off to 11.5 is where it made 930. And I forget what the back pressure was there. I want to say 19 PSI. Yeah, 19 PSI. And then the final run was at like 14.5 to 15 PSI. And that's where it made between 1,050 and 1,100. It's hard to say because the tire spun on the dyno. Somewhere in that range, you could go with the low number, 1,050. And that was 25 pounds of back pressure. So our back pressure is a consistent 1.6 to 1, which if you're not familiar with back pressure, that might sound actually bad, but anything under 2 to 1 is actually pretty solid. So that's huge because that means the turbo is not too small. I was really afraid of that. I went as big as I could to where it would still be responsive. I would have gone smaller if it weren't for the fact that I didn't want to have a ton of back pressure because that means the engine can't breathe. I mean, if you think about it, this is the exhaust and the air has to go through this turbo. So if you make it too small, then it can't breathe. And that's honestly probably harder on the engine than just having a bigger turbo and making more power. So I wanted to find that happy point with turbo sizing, and we got it. And it was very, very tricky to figure that out. I went back and forth on it a ton of times. Finally decided on a turbo, and I'm so pleased it worked out. It's just all the concepts moving to reality. Turbo sizing working out, the engine making so much power, the header shield stuff. I mean, we just ran this thing and I can pretty much touch it. Kevin, right after we dynoed it, literally put his hand on the downpipe and it didn't burn him. So that's impressive. We didn't have a ton of heat coming off here like we thought we would. It almost felt like we hadn't been running the car. So that's working. The blower fans are really helping. Just all the things that we thought would work and all the things that we decided to try seem to be working really well. And I mean, it really couldn't have gone any better. So yeah, well, we'll try it as is, you know, see what it feels like at 750-ish on 6.5 pounds. And, you know, maybe bump it up to like 11 or 12 on the controller. We might add a knob so we can change what the controller adds, so we can make it to where like the controller, when we press the button, it's 10 pounds or 12 pounds or 15 pounds. We can do some tinkering there, but I want to see how it feels with this power first. I've never had anywhere near even 750, so I don't know what it's going to feel like. That might be plenty. I don't know. We won't know until we test it. So we're going to be testing here soon. We pushed the date back a little bit because we weren't sure when we were going to get on the dyno. So we got to wait a little bit, but that'll allow us to finish up some odds and ends and make sure she's 100% ready to go. But couldn't be happier, man. That is... Again, pretty much as good as it could have gone. So anyway, I guess I'm gonna quit jibber jabbering. I'm gonna let you guys go. Let me know what you think. Solid power, everything I was hoping for. 800 to 1,000 is what I was looking for. And I mean, even we could run it at 1,000 and it would be happy. It's not like stressing it to run 1,000. We could probably get up to 1,300 before we really started stressing it and the back pressure started climbing. So that's just way better than I could have hoped. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.
What's the number?